Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever had the desire to look like Dwayne Johnson? Does your girlfriend has a crush on Jason Momoa? Or your mom always liked how Hulk Logan looked? Well, say no more, because you can now be a barbarian in Diablo 4. And let me begin. After my Necromancer died in hardcore, I thought, okay, I gotta start something on the Eternal Realm, something that doesn't give me the feeling of loss after I invested so much time in it. And I thought, okay, I make a barbarian, and I wrote a couple of other characters already because I just enjoyed the leveling up to 50 much more than just pushing the same dungeon in a meta build. And I always enjoyed melee characters in many video games. I always played bruisers in League. I always played a warrior archetype in RPGs. So I thought this is gonna be the one for me. And oh my god, how wrong I was. That Let me start with my complaints first, and then I will talk about what I did enjoy about it and some other stuff. Just a little rant. It's not gonna be about anything meta or anything like, wow, okay, this is how to push content and all that kind of stuff. This is just gonna be my opinion on how it was with the Barbarian. So let's just start first of all. I'm only level 41, and that is because I simply gave up on pushing the Barbarian any further than that. I originally wanted to make this video when I'm about level 50 or so, but I kept pushing it further and further away. I rather made other characters on stream as well, because I just simply didn't enjoy playing the Barbarian while I was online, and I just didn't want to put out content and streams while I'm playing a class that I don't enjoy, because if I would like to play a game online that I don't enjoy, I would just rather be playing League of Legends still. So yeah, first off, I started out with a Barbarian on the first levels with Lunging Strike and Whirlwind, which I thought, wow, of course, like, who doesn't want to play a Whirlwind Barbarian? I heard that is the thing to do, and oh my god, I was wrong. At early levels, literally Whirlwind did zero damage, and I went into the first dungeon, and the boss killed me like 3 times because I literally done no damage at all. And then I thought, oh damn, okay, so what do I do now? So I went to Flay and Rend, which then decimated the boss, but somehow playing a Bleed Barbarian felt strange. I did a couple of dungeons like that, and it was more efficient, but I just didn't quite enjoy it as much. Then I went to Hammer of Ancients, which literally just meant me slamming the ground like an insane person until I got a legendary aspect for it, and then I just kept smashing the ground in a circle. The thing is, it just felt incredibly underwhelming. Then I started to unlock the shouts. I have iron skin now because I was trying out some kind of a Torn Barbarian sort of build, but it just doesn't really click with me. In the end, I ended up having just 4 different shouts. I completely skipped this route, and then I had Berserker, and that is my main problem. That you literally have, if you want to play the most efficient kind of Barbarian, you have 4 types of shouts. You have the War Cry, Challenging Shout, Rallying Cry, and the Berserker. So you just try to pop your Berserker and your other buffs a lot, and then you either go down with Whirlwind or Hammer of the Ancients. That leaves you with 2 active abilities. That's the basic attacks, for example, like all of them felt terrible because you just simply have no way to gap close efficiently enough without Lunging Strike. And Lunging Strike itself does hardly any damage. And there we have the Whirlwind and Hammer of Ancients, which are suitable options to do anything altogether, and then Rend if you're doing the Bleed build. But then again, you have all these abilities like Ground Stomp, Kick, Charge, and Leap that just literally felt useless. And maybe I was just missing out on aspects, or I'm missing out on particular builds. At some point I was so lost trying to figure out my own build that I was looking up other guides and builds, but simply I just didn't feel like the effort to put into it was worth it to farm out the dungeons that it would give me the aspects. I just kinda got bored. I kind of felt like it's a chore to complete some kind of chore so I can be strong later on, and then I lost my motivation to carry on with a barbarian, unfortunately. Although I love melee classes. I love bruisers. I love tanks. I played warrior in World of Warcraft. I literally played the two-handed swordsman in almost every RPG that I play. Simply the build just did not click with me. Deathblow is featured on so many builds and forgets to mention sometimes that you need to have the aspect to have two charges on it, because the smallest amount of minion moves and it doesn't kill him, it puts it to a 16-second cooldown, 15-second cooldown, which is just honestly feels so frustrating, because then that's your one active ability that you can use outside of your core ability, and then you're just sitting there waiting either for your shouts to happen or waiting for Deathblow to come back on charge. Of course, you can miss two shots on your Deathblow as well, but two charges are less likely to happen to be missed both, but still, it's just somewhat underwhelming. Yeah, with the Necromancer, when I was playing on hardcore, I was going in completely blind. I did my own thing, and actually Blood Necromancer feels much more as a tank than Barbarian ever did, except maybe if you go Iron Skin, Tank, Torn Barbarian, which can still be somewhat a satisfying experience as a tank. And then you have now, I think Blizzard recognized the fact, so they actually buffed many abilities here, like the charge, leap, and kick, and they also buffed a lot of the basic skills, which was what we seen in the patch on Tuesday, was quite a theme for it. And also the Barbarian got nerfed several times, because simply I think what is the main issue with it, that the Barbarian has so many different types of buffs and it can use every single one of them, that there is really hardly any other option to play yourself as the strongest version of your character than buffing yourself and or your team and then just raw winding down everything that comes your way. And shout out to Dart Microtransaction, who inspired me to make a video like this, and shout out to Asmongold, who was playing Barbarian, and I just thought, all right, okay, let's try this out. That guy also always plays characters like this. And also the cosmetics for me somehow feel just kind of lackluster. I don't know, maybe I mean, if you look at me, I'm kind of a skinny guy. I much more resemble a necromancer or a mage on my best of days, but somehow the cosmetics, just the ones that so far that I unlocked, just didn't kind of click with me either. I mean, if you look at the shop, I think the Barbarian probably has the best options out there, because as a Necromancer, when I was playing, that class just felt overwhelmingly amazing when it came to cosmetics. I don't see any reason why you would want to pay for cosmetics if you're a Necromancer. I also don't see the reason why you should pay anything as a Druid. But when you look at the Barbarian, he is probably the only class that has kind of valid cosmetics. I mean, like, if you look at this one, this looks badass. I think, yeah, so far from all the classes, I think the Barbarian is the only one that has valid value if you have the money for that, if you want to pay for something like that to engage with the shop and get yourself something cool looking like this. Or there was this lion looking one earlier a couple of days ago. It's not in there anymore. But for example, if you look at the Necromancer, the skins are so underwhelming. Maybe not this one, compared to stuff that you can literally get in game without any significant effort that you have to put in it. Now, on the plus side, I know that the Barbarian picks up very much so late game, and you can clear dungeons with him effectively, more probably than any other class. But it's just simply not for me. And yeah, my complaint is that your 4 abilities that I have here on the bar that are the most valuable for you to play the game are simply just passively buffing you and then spinning away and being happy about it. When you build it all by yourself, I felt with the Necromancer you have like 4 different types. You have the minion, the shadow, the bone, and the blood, and they all thematically make perfect sense, while the Barbarian just goes around and shouts 4 times and spins. And that is somewhat annoying. I think if PvP or arena becomes a bigger deal, then all your CC abilities like charge and leap and all that will become much more effective, much more prominent. But so far, it's just me shouting in 4 different tones and running everything down. And actually, the scaling, what leads up to that, also feels just really difficult and exhausting. I literally stopped leveling this Barbarian, although I wanted to get him up to level 50 for the content. And I just swapped over to a Rogue because I was just enjoying the Rogue so much more. I even enjoy playing a Druid way more because at least when I engage with the Druid, I shapeshift into a werewolf, I shapeshift into a bear. It looks cool, it feels cool. Maybe it's not as powerful and efficient, but the feeling of power is much more. Unless you enjoy raw muscles. I mean, the other day I walked past a guy on the street with my girlfriend who literally looked like the Barbarian, and I just looked at her and said, I bet this guy is a Barbarian. But unless you're into like big muscles and just hitting massive weapons, I don't know. It's just unfortunately not for me. If you guys feel free to write a comments down below if you're watching my rant about this and say like, oh, you're an idiot, you have to do this, you have to do that, and the Barbarian feels much more engaging. I think the Rend Bleed Barbarian would be the only types of Barbarian that I would enjoy engaging with, because there you have actual abilities that you need to use and interact with the game. Or maybe I just didn't find the one that I felt like I have abilities, I have a reason to use those abilities other than buffing myself, and I interact with the mobs around me, I interact with the world around me. So let me know in the comments if you have any builds for a Barbarian for me to push it up to level 50, and then I can make a recap video on it. But so far, I felt from all 5 characters, the Barbarian just lacked the engagement that I was hoping from it to get. And it just could be purely down to me. As I said, late game, he's extremely powerful, he's extremely easy to clear with and all that, but so far, I haven't got there yet. So, thanks for watching, and let me know what you guys think. It can be a nice little discussion, how you feel about it. And yeah, I will finish off with my Rogue, hopefully maybe today or tomorrow, and then I will make a video about that, of how I felt regarding the Rogue. And thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys later. Cheers. Bye now.